Met groot genoegen verklaar ik de Rijksuniversiteit Limburg geopend.
We are proud of the developments that have taken place over the last 40 years, which have resulted in this beautiful international university. This is who we are. The future is now. Please give a warm welcome to Maastricht University's President, Professor Dr. Martin Paul.
Good morning. It was a while since I danced last time, but certainly the music was very stimulating. I would like to welcome you, also on behalf of my colleagues Rianne and Nick, to this morning program of the opening academic year, and you probably already got a bit of the feeling that it will be different than we have done it last few years, because this morning program has been designed and planned by students from our university. They came to us and said, you know, it's every year a bit of the same. Somebody gives a lecture and there's a discussion round, and we have other ideas what you could do. So we gave them a carte blanche to really design this morning. So we're not taking any responsibilities for it, and certainly it will be very enjoyable. I think it's a good sign that students are engaged in this university, like our staff, and this will also be important for the future, that we don't stop today, but that we look for a lot more opportunities where our students can take part in this university, because the university is a community, an academic community. And that brings me to our strategic program, which is called Community at the Core. And we will talk about today it in different formats. And the students who organized this morning, together with some enthusiastic staff members, they will use different presentation formats. Also, next to the content, as an inspiration, how we could integrate such formats in our educational process as food for thought. The strategic program will so be presented by many different people in different formats, and we're looking forward to that. The strategic program has this title, I told you, Community at the Core, and core doesn't only mean that thing that's in the apple where these beautiful people here on this picture stand, but it represents 4 principles that stand for this academic community and that will guide us in the next 4 years. C stands for collaborative. We are a very collaborative university where we work together over borders, students, staff, different faculties, also with the outside world. Secondly, open. We need to be open, need to have open access to our means, and we need also to be open to our surroundings, to the city, the province of Limburg, and the world as a whole. And this is what you also have to teach in our university. Openness, European global citizenship. And of course, research. That's the R in the core, and research, of course, together with education. And that's really what will be the key element to link these two together. They have been very isolated, and that also has been a problem in many universities, that you do either research or education, and some people say that you get rewarded more for research. So research and education linked together in the, almost should say as a German, Humboldtian principle. That is really something that we will do in the next 4 years. And not only content-wise, but also creating special places, core labs, where this interaction can take place. So this will be presented today, as I said, in different means by different people. And the only task I have now is to open this morning's program, and I will do that maybe together with you. Let's count down together, and I'll start by saying, now I hope the number 3, 2, one.
So how do you want to finish this video?
I have no idea. That's perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the opening of the academic year 2016-2017, a moment that has been in the making for the past 40 years. And while that might be considered young, in this short period of time, Maastricht University has grown to what it is today, an open and vibrant academic community. I am Catalina Guantao.
And I'm Mark Kawakami, and we'll be your hosts for this morning session as we explore our university's strategic program for the next 5 years. The aim of this event today is to answer a short but complex question of what's next for our university. And to answer this question,
I am sorry to interrupt Mark and Catalina, but aren't you forgetting someone?
are we really doing this?
I guess so. In order to foster a harmonious collaboration between mankind and artificial intelligence, the director of the opening day thought it was a good idea to have a digital moderator as well.
Hello, I am Sam.
As I was saying before I was interrupted, our speakers today will, in order to answer the question of what lies ahead, present various aspects of the strategic program that reflects on our past achievements, as well as deal with the question of how can we better tackle the problems of today and tomorrow.
And speaking of today, do follow us on Twitter, as these are the hashtags that we will be using throughout the day.
Hashtag stuff Mark says. Hashtag LOLOLOL.
Hashtag calm down, Sam, please.
Hashtag moving on.
Let us move on to the first theme. Education.
We'll get there.
Our first speaker is professor at Maastricht University and director of the Research Center for Education and the Labor Market. He is an internationally renowned expert in the area of education and skills development, an advisor to several national and international authorities on preparing education for the needs of the 21st century. Ladies and gentlemen, Rolf van der Velden.
ladies and gentlemen, Earth is a task garden and heaven is a playground. And what this quote represents to me is that if you do something with passion, it's not a task anymore. It becomes play. And that's why this concept of an academic playground is so crucial for a university. University is an academic playground. Now, maybe this is not a typical picture we have in mind if we think of a university. A more traditional picture would be something like this. This is a picture of Harvard University staff taken around the turn of the previous century. And the implicit message of this is that a university is very serious. It's a matter for males, actually, at that time, but and it's about important things. And that part of the message is true. I mean, what we do at a university is serious, and it's about important and great things. But still, I think this picture doesn't represent the essence of a university. Because a university, for me, is a place where students and staff can follow their passions, can develop new ideas, in an environment which stimulates creativity. And that concept of an academic playground is actually closer to the essence of a university than this picture. And that's why we think that an academic playground should be a part of our education philosophy in the coming years. That doesn't mean that we renounce problem-based learning as a core principle. Problem-based learning is what made this university a famous one, and it will be the trademark of our education philosophy in the coming decades. But we need to complement it with this idea of an academic playground. And one of the ways to do that is to integrate research more into education. As Martin already explained, one of the problems we face in universities today is that the two major functions of university, research on the one hand and education at the other hand, have drifted apart. And we need to bring these functions together. And that's why in the core principle, these letters RE stand for research education as one word, not as two separate components. Another element of our education philosophy is innovation. And innovation is really at the heart of our university. It's part of our genes. It's what this university is very good at. And we need to continue innovating our education in the coming few years by sharing experiences in open learning labs. Last but not least, a crucial element for having good education is having good teachers. It's the passion of teachers which inspires students and which improves learning outcomes. And we need to create the conditions that help improve those professional skills. Now, what do we need to do to achieve all this? One element is, as I said, we need to integrate research again in education. Not just in the final year of a study program, but from day one onwards. It's really important that students are able to work in research projects where they are able to apply the skills and the knowledge that they have acquired previously, where they are able to work on themes that are relevant for themselves, but also relevant for society, which enable them to work with students from other faculties so that they can develop their interdisciplinary skills. And this is something which we should develop. Another issue that we need to develop more is a simulation of creative problem solving. Now, this is something where education in general, universities, are not very good at. We are very good in developing analytical skills. This is our core business. But many of the problems we're facing today require innovative solutions. They require creative problem-solving skills. And this is not something magical. I mean, some people think that creative problem-solving skills is something you're born with. That's not true. Just like analytical skills, you can systematically develop them. And this should not be done in a, say, standalone workshop, but should be systematically integrated into the curriculum. A third element that we need to develop is to make better use of learning analytics. Learning analytics is about using information about how students learn and how they access and process information. And at this moment and in the coming decade, there will be a plethora of ICT tools available to use that information to improve learning outcomes, by giving, for example, personalized feedback to students about what they already master and what they don't. So that will be a major development area. There are a couple of conditions that need to be fulfilled. One condition is that we need to create open learning labs where staff of the university and students can exchange ideas about education and innovation. And the establishment of EdLab is actually a very good example of how we can do that. Innovation of education is like all innovation, it's a core activity. It requires collaboration, it requires an open attitude, and it requires the integration of research and education. And that's being done in EdLab. Second condition is the professionalization of teaching. We need to invest in the skills of teachers, because if quality of education is dependent on the quality of teachers, that is an area where we need to invest in. And the third condition that needs to be fulfilled is that we need to have a look again at allocation models and in the way we design our HR models. So the way we allocate money in a university, the way we decide on career decisions for academic staff will drive the outcomes. And so we need to look at a model which enhances the quality of education as well as the quality of research and should not favor one above the other. I would like to end with this slide. There were a couple of groups preparing the strategic program, and when we were developing those ideas, we met a great deal of enthusiasm about the ideas that were developed, but also about this core philosophy. And this is echoed in the way it was taken up in the strategic program. Now, in a sense, what we did was a very easy task. We had to come up with an advice for the executive board, a couple of meetings, etc. But the hard work is really yet to come. It will take 5 to 10 years to develop those ideas, to implement them, and to change them again. And based on the fact that we met this great enthusiasm for these ideas, that the university has a great tradition in innovation, and that there is great quality of our academic staff, I'm pretty certain that we will achieve this major goal. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Rolf. You know, the conceptualization of our university as an academic playground, where people from different backgrounds and ideas can come together, challenge, and collaborate with one another while we stimulate our collective creativity. Now that is a really aspirational goal. And both Catalina and myself, as researchers and educators at this university, we take pride in being able to be a part of that process.
We now move on with a presentation of our second theme.
Research.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now invite to our stage our next speaker, who is a university professor who holds the Limburg Chair in the field of molecular imaging. He has been successfully breaking down barriers working with translational molecular imaging techniques like using the mass microscope. Did I get that right? Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Ron Heren.
Thanks very much, Mark. You've done that, you nailed that, I would say. So ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about research, Pechakucha style. So this, to me, is the perfect future of research. A young student looking beyond the horizon, using modern tools, exploring the unknown. This is what we aim to establish with our core values in research. And it also shows you the passion that we have here at this university, where we can bring together large groups of people to collaborate, such as here, on top of a Swiss mountain, where researchers from this university, from medicine, physics, chemistry, biology, all come together to tackle and collaborate on major problems in research. Why is this so important? Well, if these researchers come together, then they feed on each other. They can stimulate each other with their ideas, their experiments, their research results, and putting them all into each other's brain, making sure that these cogwheels of research and knowledge accelerate as they go on. We need not closed environments, but we need to be open. Maastricht used to be a city that was a walled city. We no longer have walled cities because we realize that when we open up our boundaries, our borders, we allow people to communicate, to travel, to exchange ideas, to exchange philosophies. Like here in Rio, a big city, one of the biggest cities in the world, where recently people got together to celebrate sports. This open attitude, this open environment is crucial if we want to accelerate our research endeavors at this university. And we're doing it successfully. If we allow these open environments to come together, young researchers can take advantage of the unique infrastructure, the research infrastructure that we offer. And as Rolf already said, research education is key. We need these infrastructures embedded in our educational activities to accelerate both, on the one hand, the research, and on the other hand, the knowledge transfer. And Rembrandt has painted a picture of exactly this knowledge transfer in 1632 already, where Dr. Nicholas Tulp was teaching his students by doing experiments on a dead criminal. That is what we're trying to do here, only we've replaced the dead criminal with huge infrastructures. And in these infrastructures, we're now bringing together these students in an open educational environment. This open educational environment is actually crucial for what we want to establish. And one of my heroes has something to say about that. Richard Feynman is one of the most passionate researchers.
But you got to stop and think about it to really get the pleasure about the complexity, the inconceivable nature of nature.
The inconceivable nature of nature and the complexity it entails. That is what we're trying to resolve here. And we're trying to resolve that with the passion that we try to install in our researchers, understanding the complexity of a tumor, where cells collaborate to proliferate. Well, what are the molecular signals that underlie these type of processes? We need the infrastructure, the research, the education to build that together. But we can take that to one next level. We can also look at what's going on in the brain, making images of how molecules collaborate to develop diseases. And these diseases are equally complex. And understanding that complexity, understanding the nature of that complexity is what we're trying to establish with the collaborative, open research education. And these problems are complex, but it's not just limited to healthcare. Our world is changing around us. Deserts disappear, glaciers retrieve, so we need research from many different disciplines to come together to understand what is going on with our world. And that we can do here in Maastricht by taking the two communities on both sides of the Maas, bringing them together, have people from law think with the healthcare researchers how their innovations will impact healthcare, how we can use the IP, think about the social impact of our new research results. In doing so, we cross all of these boundaries and borders of these disciplines. And crossing these borders is crucial. Because if there's one thing here at this university where we're good at, it's actually using our diversity to cross these borders. And these borders actually don't exist anymore. We already have places where we can come together. We have the Brightlands campuses. Throughout the region of Limburg, researchers at these different campuses come together. Whether it's in the Smart Service campus or here at the Maastricht Health campus. We take advantage and we make good use of the capabilities that we have in all of these different locations. Whether it's at the Camelot campus, where new materials are being developed, or here at the Health campus, where we use them to make new bioimplantable materials or for regenerative medicine. All of these campus thoughts and all of the research that we do here at the University of Maastricht depends on one thing, and that's people. That is you, the community that we build here. These talents need to be trained, and we can use our research infrastructure to train these talents as they go along in their careers. And that, to me, is one of the key aspects of this new strategic vision. Because these talents, if they bring together their ideas, their research results, their passion, their communication skills, their ideas on how we should change society, will make this beating heart at the core of our research program beat faster and faster and faster. Because research, ladies and gentlemen, is in the DNA of this university, and we embrace it. And DNA consists of 2 strands, but we think in 3 strands. We think in the triple helix: the university, the regional government, and the businesses that help us to roll out, to valorize the knowledge that we generate, but also provide a playground for our students to end up in. But we need to do this in a very balanced manner. We need to make sure that we balance fundamental research, applied research, and the valorization aspects. Because team science depends on balance, and it depends on enthusiasm. And team science, you cannot do alone. Like these volleyball girls that played the Olympics. Volleyball is particularly sports where you cannot gain or succeed alone. You need a passer, you need a setter, you need a hitter. Well, here we need people from these different disciplines to come together to win this game of science. And Maastricht, as far as that is concerned, I think we're in the center of the world, don't you? I think this perfectly shows us how well we are netted, how well we collaborate with other research instances, governmental instances, to actually make our world a little bit better. But we also look locally. The National Science Agenda also defines what we do. We look carefully at personalized medicine. We look carefully at new materials for regenerative medicine. And these are the research aspects that we actually are developing at the Randley campuses. And in doing so, we have to think how we use these infrastructures, these open labs, these core labs, to increase our funding capabilities. These open labs are crucial. And what you see here is a vision through these new labs, and we use them for research education. And I think with that, Maastricht is uniquely positioned to make an impact also in the European research arena. A detector at CERN has elements in it that we now use to examine cells and molecules in cells. We're now working with CERN to actually try to engage in a business incubator here at the research campus. Working with these type of instances, we generate huge amounts of data. Well, we have the Smart Services campuses. But this is going to be one of our biggest challenges, how we deal with these data. Yeah? So our research program should facilitate new ways of dealing with these complex structures that sometimes self-organize. Self-organization for a community like ours is key. Here behind me, you see the self-organization in the cave on the Azores, where colors came together almost like a painting, like the painting of Rembrandt. Well, this self-organization is also an element in our research program. Nature is organized in a very structured and regulated manner, but sometimes that does not stimulate passion. Here behind me, you see the structure of how a cell regulates its biological processes in different steps. And you see as the colors go, blue and red, it becomes more and more complex. Well, this is the complexity we're trying to unravel on many different levels. Clinical research, societal research, international research, and those are things that are really, really matter. I want to end with something that I think is crucial to our research program. Gustav Klimt's The Kiss is, I think, for me, what research really is about. Passion. So I'm going to end you with a kiss. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ron, for this amazing presentation. I particularly liked the touch that you gave with the Rembrandt, and not just because we're in the Netherlands, but also because I really think it illustrates your point, the fact that really taking research and engaging it in hands-on education is so important. And in my view, I think this is something that Maastricht University has been already doing for such a long time.
Me, personally, I'm more of a Klimt man myself, with the passion and the kissing. Anyways, both Ron and Rolf talked about breaking down barriers and collaborating between fields of interdisciplinary nature. Now, I think that means that's in this university's DNA, right? This is who we are. And both Catalina and I, even though we're lawyers by training, we find constant inspiration in an assortment of different fields.
While the university's work might be in progress, I think we can all agree this is a meaningful commitment for our institution to articulate this vision explicitly in its strategic program.
Before moving on to our next segment, though, I would like to call your attention to the presentation style that Ron used. He said it's Petrakucha style. What that means is he gets 20 photos and he gets 20 seconds per slide to talk about the photo.
I'm not sure if I follow you, Mark. Could you perhaps show us?
Seriously? See, this is exactly why I didn't want Sam, the digital moderator, to help us out.
Well, you can think it's sarcastic, but sarcastic or not, I think you're going to really have to show Sam how it's done. So how about this, Marky? You get a photo, and you get 20 seconds, and you get a theme.
Sure.
The theme is education, because we're at Maastricht University. So, and Sam, can you please just load the photo called Mark Working?
Okay, searching. Here you go.
Oh, that's not it, Sam. Please lower your humor levels to 20%.
Yes, this is me working.
Sure.
No, I can work with this. I can work with this.
I'm sure you can, Marky. Okay, 20 seconds start now.
Okay, this is a photo of you and Wikipedia founder Jimmy Wales at a Harry Potter conference where you guys are learning how to cast spells to defeat Lord Voldemort. It's either that or you guys have spent way too much time in front of a computer and you're trying out new glasses with immediate success. How's that?
Sure.
Yeah?
Sure.
Okay. Well, it's my turn, yeah? Sam, could you do me a favor and load the photo that Catalina talked about of me working and try to get it right this time?
Hashtag why don't you do it yourself?
Sam, please.
Searching. Search completed.
Dude, you told me you got rid of this photo.
Well, maybe I forgot.
Whatever. You get 20 seconds. Ready? Go.
All right. I remember this really well because it was during Carnival, and Mark here had a lot of exams to grade, and he was doing that in a fox suit, which really begs the question, what kind of comments was he writing down? What was that fox song again? Dog goes woof, cat goes meow, bird goes tweet, and mouse goes squeak. But there's one sound that no one knows. What does the fox say?
The fox says, let's move on. Now that you've kind of got the idea of how this Pecha Kucha format works, we're wondering if there are any brave volunteers that want to come up and give it a shot.
Can I try, Mark? I can be very funny.
No. Someone from the audience. Any volunteers?
We already see someone, please, okay? Let's
Ben,
just join us.
Come on up. The music is a nice touch. It's nice. Can we get him some mics? Yeah.
We have the mics, okay.
You all right?
Hi. Hello. Hi.
Jill. Hey. All right. Okay. You guys know each other? Yeah?
No, not yet.
Oh, there's
Just come right here.
collaborating
come right here.
different. Okay, sorry. All right, can you guys kind of introduce yourselves to the audience a little bit?
Okay, that works. Fine. I'm Jill. I'm a law student. So, yeah, I know you guys not from law, but I understand your feelings with this. 24 years old.
Okay.
Dutch. What more to say?
Zodiac sign?
Fish.
Fish. Fish.
Hi, I'm Ben. I'm also a law student here at the faculty.
Wow. So a lot of lawyers on a square meter here.
Yeah. I'm from Scotland, so I still quite like everyone here, unlike the majority of the United Kingdom. But yeah, so that's pretty much it.
And who's your favorite superhero?
Don't know really. Superman. They don't really like superheroes, you know.
Good.
All right.
Nigel Farage. No, I'm joking.
We're very grateful that you're here with us. And you saw what we did. What we're going to do right now is you're going to get 10 photos. And we would like you to switch. You get one photo, and then when the photo switches, then you change. Let's start with Jill, followed by Ben. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Hope so.
Let's do this.
Good luck.
Let's go.
Okay, coffee. That's very necessary when you study here. Because if you have an 8:30 lecture, coffee is needed to be focused. But I've also been to Panama recently, and I've learned that coffee can be brewed in a biological way. So I think that is for educational.
Okay, this looks like a photo of my grandparents at their last wedding anniversary. It looks perhaps like a horse or a donkey that's wearing shoes. And why shouldn't they wear shoes? You know, the ground is cold and wet. And
Okay, it's a cat. It looks a bit scared, I guess. Maybe it's a freshman who comes here for the first day, or someone who sees their grades after you've been grading with a fox suit on. I don't know. Yeah, it just looks very scared to me. That's for sure.
the east coast of Scotland. Beautiful white, lovely beach, crystal blue waters, sun shining overhead. No riffraff on the side with the cans of beer and the cigarettes. But yeah, no, it looks like Scotland to me. Beautiful place. I'd love to swim in it. Oh.
Okay, maybe this is a Maastricht forest, but I've never been there actually. I don't know, good for relaxation, and maybe the city park could took something like this, so we can walk there, the Tapijnkazerne. Maybe we could have a little park there for relaxation.
I can't think of anything funny this time. I can't insult another family member. This could well be another carnival costume. Perhaps one of Mark's earlier editions. When he first came, he didn't really know what it was about.
Okay, well, this looks like me falling off a boat during my vacation, and people who can't swim. I don't know. It seems fun, more fun than standing in the rain outside here. Splash, I guess.
My cousins. No, I'm joking. It's sort of ostriches, I believe, on some sort of savannah, looking rather bewildered, maybe like first-year students starting out today, just not really knowing what's going on. Yeah, it's quite difficult, this.
Oh, it's Mr. It. from the Addams Family. Yeah, or someone with a very bad hair day who got up too late. Furthermore, I don't know, beautiful lightning in the picture, but yeah, good sunglasses, Ray-Ban, cool brand.
Oh, very cute. No more family. Cute little monkeys just sort of chilling out. Maybe me, sort of me during my first group project work, all excited and loving my peers before the work started and we fell out and things didn't go well at all. But yeah, just a sort of cute, cozy student.
And that was it, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Jill, thank you, Ben. That was absolutely amazing.
Rocked it. I would like to meet your family one of these days. Hey? Goodness gracious. All right. Well, another round of applause for our brave volunteers, please. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
May I bestow upon these? Cool. That's pretty good.
Very good, very good. Research education sometimes requires creative thinking on your feet, and we hope this presentation showcased Pechacucha's unique potential. We are also very happy to have with us here today the Pechacucha Maastricht team. Sueli, Jean-Paul, did we miss anything?
No, everything is perfect.
Okay, that is really very good to know. So that looks to me as Pechacucha approved, which is great. Thank you very much. Should you want to see more Pechacucha action, you can do so this Wednesday, 7th of September, in the Sint-Jan Church in an event that also celebrates 40 years of Maastricht University. Check the Pechacucha Maastricht Facebook page for more information. Sueli, Jean-Paul, and their colleagues have curated an amazing presenters list. And guess who's on that list? This guy right here.
And now for something completely different. Recent research backed by Microsoft revealed that our concentration span now only lasts for about 8 seconds. 8 seconds. That is a 4-second decline or a decrease since when the research was first conducted back in 2000. So what that suggests is that thanks in part to smartphones and our increasingly digitized lifestyles that constantly beep and distract us, we have a shorter attention span than that of a goldfish. So thank you, Sam.
Mark, I believe you are being sarcastic.
Sam, I love you, but do me a favor and just turn yourself off, eh?
Can
Really?
we do something about that? Well, seeing as how we just lost our technical support, perhaps now would be a good time to take a short break.
Maybe we're perfect strangers. Maybe it's not.
Welcome back, everyone. We're now back online and ready to proceed with our third theme.
Internationalization.
Our next speaker is a strategic advisor of internationalization to the executive board here at University of Maastricht. She is responsible for developing and implementing these internationalization projects worldwide. And as such, she is traveling constantly worldwide. We are lucky to have her here today, ladies and gentlemen, Alexandra Rosenbach.
Good morning, everybody. I'm very happy to be here today to share with you our plans on internationalization for the next years. We are a globally linked European university, and internationalization is very much a core feature of our DNA, and it will remain to be in the years to come. The first point I'd like to make is that we want to link regional developments to the world. As you know, we have exciting developments here in the region on our Brightlands campuses, and we want to link them more explicitly and better to the international arena. They open up exciting possibilities in education and research. We will attract international students in our new sciences programs, and there's also a lot of exciting job opportunities on our campuses for highly skilled knowledge workers. Oh, something funny is happening. There's a Skype call coming in. Shall we take that call and see who it is? Hey.
Hi, Alex. How are you?
That's Jan. He's a former colleague of mine and a graduate of Maastricht University. Jan, how are you? Can you hear me?
I'm well, thank you. I'm currently in Brussels. What's going on over there? Why are there so many people in the background?
Well, Jan, today's the opening of the academic year, and I just started to present our plans for internationalization to our audience, so calling at a special time. What are you doing in Brussels?
Oh yeah, that's right. The opening of the academic year. I totally forgot about this. Hi, everyone. And about your question, I currently work at the European Commission in the Directorate for Health and Food Safety in Brussels.
That's pretty impressive. How did you get that job, Jan?
Well, following my master's degree at Maastricht University, I was selected for a traineeship program at the European institutions. It's basically a program for university graduates that gives them the possibility to gain first insights into how the institutions work. In my case, that was the European Commission, the Directorate for Health and Food Safety. So yeah, the work was great. I had a lot of fun there. I really liked the topic that I worked on. I got on well with people, and I think they appreciated my work there. So in the end, they asked me to stay on, which I did. Of course, I think that partly I got this position and the traineeship based on my experience and on the work that I did. But I also think that having graduated from Maastricht University played a major role. Definitely to get this traineeship and also the work later on. So I'm quite happy that I did this degree.
Great. So do you think in general we as Maastricht University have a good reputation in Brussels?
Yes, definitely, I would say so. I think we are well known here in both the private and the public sector, particularly for the problem-based learning approach that we have, but also for the European and international dimensions that we attach to our curricula. In this respect, I think what is also important is that Maastricht University allows both its student and staff members to spend some time abroad, to broaden their horizon, to gain further insights into a new culture, maybe learn a new language. I think these are all aspects that are highly valued by future employers, particularly here in Brussels, I would say. But I think you should know what I'm talking about, because you spent some time in Sydney last year. Isn't that right?
Oh, it's funny that you mentioned it, Jan. That's absolutely right. Maastricht University gave me the unique opportunity to go to the University of Sydney for 3 months. So I spent some time there working in their international office. I was also based at the Secretariat of the Worldwide Universities Network, which is located there. So I got wonderful insights into how things work in Australia. Definitely recommend it to other staff as well. It's really great.
I think not only students, but also staff members should really consider this possibility. And probably many don't even know about this. So we should definitely promote this further and more at Maastricht University, I think.
Yes, I absolutely agree with you. And staff mobility as well as student mobility are both key features in our new strategic program. And we absolutely want to stimulate this and promote it better among staff. The networks that we are member of, like the Young European Research Universities Network and the Worldwide Universities Network, give us ample opportunities to actually send people abroad and spend shorter or longer periods at other universities. So do you actually visit our campus in Brussels from time to time?
Yes, actually I'm just coming from the campus. And I was also there a few weeks ago for a lecture and then again for an alumni event. So that was great. And also, as you might know, I still have this intention to come back to Maastricht to do my PhD. So I'm currently working on my research proposal. And yeah, for that the campus is great because you got those working spaces there, you got a copy machine, you got free coffee. So once in a while I go by there just to work on my proposal. And yeah, it's actually amazing how many Maastricht alumni you also meet outside of the Brussels. So definitely quite a few of us here. And in this respect, I think it's a particularly smart idea that Maastricht University is now attempting to promote the campus a little bit more here in Brussels. I think there are definitely quite a lot of opportunities for us here. I think further courses on offer would be great, maybe even a full degree program. I think we could really make an impact here, not only by spreading our knowledge a little bit further, but also by really shaping the European agenda as a higher education institution in this sector.
Yes, I agree with you. It's also on our agenda for the next years. We really want to turn our campus into a sort of gateway to Europe, a platform also for our research theme. Wow, well, seems I'm very popular this morning. There's another Skype call coming in. Jan, can you hold the line for a moment? It seems someone else wants to speak to me as well.
Hi, Alexandra. This is Lauren.
Oh, okay. Hey, Lauren. How are you doing? Can you hear me? You still there? Lauren? Speak
Good. How are you? I didn't realize you were that busy this morning. Should I call you back later?
Well, I am quite busy, you're right, because I'm in the middle of a presentation right now on our new strategic program. But Jan was just sharing his experiences with us, so maybe you can do the same since you're also an international student here. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Why did you come here to study? Lauren? Would you enlighten us?
Oh, well, okay, sure. I grew up and I was born and raised in Brussels, Belgium, and I've lived there my whole life. After I graduated high school, I realized that I wanted something different. So I moved to the United States to repeat my senior year in high school there. So I ended up in Oregon. Being there, I quickly realized that I really liked the international environment and I wanted to continue to live in an international community once I would go back home. So I got on the internet and I started Googling, and that's really the moment when the internet led me to Maastricht University. I was immediately attracted by the international staff and student body, and also the study abroad possibilities Maastricht University offers. So I applied and broke the family tradition of studying in Leuven, Belgium, and I have not regretted that decision for one day in my life.
Sounds good. Oh, wait, now the call is breaking up. There she is again. Lauren?
Yes,
now?
Sorry, I'm back. Where was I? Oh yeah, I was telling you about how much I enjoy studying at the UM. What I actually really like is the international classroom. I remember in my first year, we were studying Introduction to Law in the first period. Each week, we would cover a different field of law. And in the fifth week, we were discussing constitutional law. And I remember from just reading the book, I didn't really like constitutional law, but that tutorial was actually the most eye-opening and interesting out of all of them. One of the great Greek students started screaming how the Greeks invented democracy and look where we are at now, he said. Whereupon another Italian student was complaining about how one of the Italian parliamentarians is a former model. And in that moment, I realized I never really thought about the issues some other countries are facing. And I know this may sound strange, being from Belgium, the country which is a record holder for not having government for 541 days. So I guess what I'm trying to say here, that such an international classroom really teaches you how to think like a Greek or like an Italian. And I believe that this is a great asset for people hoping to one day work in an international market.
Yes, that's totally right, and that's also what we're aiming to do in our international classroom, where we want to equip our students with the competencies that they need later on when they graduate on the labor market. So, Lauren, are you actually also planning on doing a stay abroad like many students do? Will you spend your semester somewhere else?
Well, yes, actually, I'm going to Singapore for a semester. I'm really looking forward to this experience because, well, to be honest, I don't really know that much about the Asian culture, but somehow it fascinates me. I'm really happy that the UM offers its students the possibility of studying abroad, because this way I get to learn about a course such as Chinese contract law, and that would generally not be taught here in the Netherlands. So I'm hoping that this experience will teach me so much more than just a different legal system.
Sounds good. Oh, wait. We lost the connection, guys. Can we... Well, we were still in the middle of our conversation. Can we try and call Lauren back? Okay, it's ringing. No one picking up? Lauren? Oh, she's here, all the way from either Oregon, Athens, or Singapore. Welcome our global citizen, Lauren. Welcome to the stage. Nice that you join us. You were just enthusiastically talking about Singapore, so maybe you can tell us one more time what you really hope to gain from this experience.
Yes, I'm really, really excited. I think it will be a great opportunity for me, and I'm hoping to come home with many, many great memories.
Well, I'm pretty jealous of her, even though I also get to travel quite a lot, as was said in the introduction. Actually, I'm behind my desk most of the time, but so I'm pretty jealous of Lauren, who gets to go to Singapore. So I've never been there, and it must be an amazing city. So I hope you come back with many great new experiences and some new cultural adventures. So to wrap things up now, one last thing I would like to ask you, and I'm pretty sure that the audience is also curious about it. As a student, looking at our internationalization strategy, if there's one thing you could change or contribute, what would that be? Do you have an advice for us for the next years?
Yes, well, actually I do. I've heard about this thing called virtual mobility. I think some of the faculties here are already experimenting with that. I think it's psychology and medicine faculties. So basically what that is students from here get to collaborate with students from all over the world through e-learning technologies. And for me personally, I think that if I wouldn't be able to go to Singapore, that's really something that I would want to have as an alternative option, because it's truly, it's a whole new dimension to what we've talked earlier, the international classroom. So it would be really great if the UM could look into this on a more broader scale.
All right. Thanks for the tip. We'll put it on our list. And I think that's a wrap. And I want to give you a hand and say thank you so much for joining us today. Thanks, Lauren. Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Alexandra and Lauren, for showcasing with such a great interactive example. One of the distinctive features of our university, it's globally mobile students and staff.
Connected with our communities.
For our first project pitch, we invite to the stage Aurelia Streit. She's a master's student studying public policy and human development here at the UM. She was awarded the 2015 Student Award for her work as being the co-founder of Refugee Maastricht, which is a project that offers a platform for refugee integration. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Aurelia Streit.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we speak, there are 65 million people on Earth that were displaced from their homes by conflict and persecution. We, in our daily lives, have heard about this topic in many different perspectives and formed many different opinions, right? The so-called refugee crisis seems to be impacting us every single day. Headlines about Europe's collective failure to address a humanitarian crisis. Far-right populists teaching us they're not refugees, but terrorists are taking over Europe. Or even pictures of drowning boats in the Mediterranean that are not even shocking us anymore. With a debate about migrants in Europe that has become very political and emotional, we face an information overflow of this crisis in our heads that makes us forget something really simple. There are people like you and me. So meeting these individuals in real life that we have only known from the media as refugees can sometimes be the best way to create a human face in this crisis narrative. But you might ask yourself, what does all this have to do with Maastricht University? Well, in 2015, about 700 individuals came to our city to seek shelter in the refugee camps. And students wanted to have an active role in welcoming these newcomers to our city. So as a response to their isolation, the Refugee Project Maastricht was founded. And I must really say that until today, not only we, but they have welcomed us into their Syrian, Afghan, Eritrean, or Iranian culture. We teach languages for and from them. The same goes for activities in music, food, or sport. The possibilities to learn from each other are endless. And curiously, questions such as, so did you come by boat? How many of your relatives are still alive? Or how is it like to be a refugee in Europe? Have rarely been asked. We become more curious about their new life in Maastricht. What is your next step here? What do you want to do? And just like us, most of them actually would like to study at this university. So not only the students, but also the city of Maastricht and Maastricht University have worked together on that purpose. Maastricht University has actively sought to enroll more refugees into bachelor and master programs that are starting from today. Together, we have managed that all refugee-related organizations are sitting at one table to try to find solutions that benefit us all. And to me, this approach seems more effective than blaming our governments for not finding a solution, but finding them ourselves. And after all, we come to the conclusion that we, as active citizens of this society, are the ones who can play the best role in creating this crisis narrative and giving it a different ending. And among many other beautiful things I would like to talk about right now, the most key things this experience has learned us was that it can be a lot of struggle after war to find your way to a new home. But for us, it shouldn't take us much to open up our arms and make someone feel welcome. Thank you.
Aurelia, thank you so much for this amazing and heartwarming plea that you just made. We would just like to have you here for one more moment to just ask you a question that deals with how you have experienced the support that you received from the academic and the university community. Could you perhaps elaborate on that?
Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity to also speak here and give me the unique chance to thank again Maastricht University that from the first minute that they heard of this project, they have reached out to us and asked how they can play a role in this and be a key supporter in that. And the last year has been a great experience to work together and enable more refugees to enter master programs, enter bachelor programs, and just connect with young people that are very open-minded here and are just curious about finding out more about them. So I was really grateful for that support, and I'm looking forward to everything what's awaiting us this year.
That's great.
Thank you so
very
much, ladies and gentlemen. Aurelia Strijd, good luck with your project.
Nice.
Our second presenter is an esteemed guest to today's festivities. Someone who understands the delicate relationship between a city and a university and cherishes this. Someone who wants all students to feel at home here in this beautiful city. We are honored to invite with us to the stage the mayor of Maastricht, Annemarie Pentestrake.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, here's a definition. Reciprocity is the mutual obligation within a relationship to respond to a gift by offering a return gift. And in this way, an equal relationship is created on the basis of balance as the parties function as an organic whole. And I think the same applies to UM and Maastricht City. The international university and the alluring city balance one another. We, the administrators, and I'm looking at you also, Martin, we have the task of operating as an organic whole. Going it alone is not an option, because the quality of the university is one of the most important economic assets of the city. That's obvious. And also, I think the quality of the city is one of the most important expensive assets of this university. And I wouldn't call it dependence, but rather mutual attachment. Progressing on a reciprocal basis, difficult to say, that is what we stand for. And imagine we would conduct a survey among the visitors in Maastricht on the Servaas Bridge. And we would put a question. We would ask them, how many inhabitants do you think Maastricht has? And I think a lot of these visitors would say, well, 350,000, something like that. And the second question would be, how old is Maastricht University? And I could bet that people would say mid-18th century. And it's both not true, as you know. But Maastricht City would easily be mentioned in the same breath as Leiden and, sorry Martin, Groningen, Florence, Leuven and Cambridge. And not at the same breath with Rotterdam, Eindhoven, Köln or Oslo or something like that, which are also very dynamic and cities with a renowned university. But it is a reputation built on an image rather than on the facts. And you could rightly ask where that image of a large city and an ancient university come from. And let us be clear. The city has a large urban air about it and hosts a lot of facilities. And the university is renowned academically and has an international character. We quoted that already many times. And these qualities reinforce one another and act as a magnet for students and also teachers all over the world. So let us cherish this image, or even better, we have to convert the image into reality, so we can cement our place as one of the famous academic cities. To achieve this, Maastricht will have to act more as a university city, and the UM will have to act more as a city university. Pythagoras is quoted as saying, if you wish to multiply joy, you have to divide it. The city needs the university, and the university needs the city. And if we work on the basis of that conviction, we can look forward to a bright future, I'm sure of that, as Oxford on the Muse. So from now on, for me, the word reciprocity is to be pronounced as reciprocity. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your presentation, Mayor. If we could indulge ourselves in one question, we know you have a busy schedule. Our core values in our strategic program talked about the importance of linking the university to the community and to the society at large and the responsibilities that come with it. You mentioned how the Maastricht University has to be a city university. Could you elaborate on some of the specific areas in which you think the university can actually do more?
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, I'm very glad by everything university does already. And we heard a beautiful story of Aurelia, and we are so proud and happy with that. But when it comes to emphasize the importance of the connection, I think it's not that difficult, but it asks more attention and more passion to do it, both ways, as well from the city as from the university. And it's not that difficult because it comes to little projects, going out in the neighborhoods, students who say, well, I'm interested in this city, in my surroundings. Where am I living? What can I contribute? And on the other hand, we from the city have to stimulate inhabitants to have a brighter look at students and university and how they can connect and reinforce themselves more and more. So I think it's what Ron Heren said, it's the kiss. That's
the passion.
It's the passion.
Thank you very much, Mayor.
And Mayor, one last thing. We know we're very happy to have you here with us today, and we know that you are very busy, and we're very grateful you made time for us. But we cannot let go of this moment without very kindly asking you to take a selfie with us for our Twitter feed.
Okay.
So perhaps you can just smile so that we can have all of you in the background.
So,
Mark,
we
you
turn?
have, yes, we
this
turn
is so
around.
unexpected. I just so happen to have a phone.
So Mark, please.
If I may, why am I the one taking it?
Because it's your phone, so
Asian?
I would say.
Okay, no, wait, there you go. Oh, I guess I'm sorry, I'm
Sorry.
security
I'm too
detail.
big.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm taking a few.
Okay.
Thank you very
so
much, Mayor.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Mayor of Maastricht.
Woo. See, I'm telling you, it's all about that passion. That
And
Ron was talking
remember
about.
the hashtags we're using on Twitter, hashtag OAY16 and hashtag UM40years.
Our next speaker is someone who has one foot in the university and the other in the wider community. As the Director of Knowledge Transfer Office and UniVenture, he is responsible for commercializing and disseminating our intellectual property. Ladies and gentlemen, the man who wears many hats, the CEO of Brightlands Maastricht Health Campus, Jan Kopenhagen.
Thank you. Good morning. Taking our social responsibility seriously by linking the university to society. Mark already mentioned it. It's one of the 4 core values underpinning Maastricht University's strategy and mission. And I was asked to reflect briefly on this from a Brightlands campus's point of view. And as you may know, all 4 Brightlands campuses are triple helix organizations in which the University of Maastricht, the province of Limburg, have joined forces with either a company or the Maastricht University Medical Center. And their ambition is to create vibrant science business communities. Communities that aims at transforming cutting-edge knowledge into products that benefit society and public health. An important foundation to these campuses are the knowledge access, the Kennis-as programs. These programs are focused on those core themes that link the regional economic strength with Maastricht University's research. And by establishing these campuses over the past 4 years, Maastricht University already has taken a run-up on the core theme that is presented here today, community at the core. Community at the core is about taking responsibility for society, taking responsibility for the community, the university community, but also the broader community, society as a whole. And for this reason, and you heard it before already with the speech of Ron, Maastricht University will challenge both research and education to address the most pressing problems that are facing society today. And that ambition parallels nicely with the ambition of the Brightlands campuses as we focus on developing sustainable solutions to global challenges. And in order to succeed at this, we need to cross borders. Ron Heren mentioned it already this morning. Crossing borders. Crossing borders between disciplines, crossing borders between staff, students, and companies or organizations or clinics on the other side. But perhaps most importantly, we must emphasize knowledge crossing borders between organizations and between campuses. And that's why the Brightlands campuses operate in an open innovation context centered around Maastricht University's research. In this open innovation context, new opportunities are found in knowledge crossovers between triple helix hotspots at the various campuses. And in order to reap the full benefits of high-level research, the university needs to connect with our entrepreneurs, with companies, with hospitals. It is they who form the second strand of the triple helix, in addition to the university. The third partner is the public sector, the province of Limburg, the major cities. They act as catalyst and as broker in bringing parties together, setting the agenda, and funding our ambitions. And already in their formative years, the campuses have demonstrated that the triple helix approach yields results in safeguarding the innovative power and addressing some important social challenges. Maastricht University is a key player in this ambition, thereby implementing its strategic ambition to take responsibility for the community. Yet in all these efforts, Maastricht University and its partners should not neglect the fact that an entrepreneurial mindset is required as well. We can only utilize our research resources most effectively to the benefit of the society if we are willing to match the resources invested in research with the reciprocal portion of entrepreneurial development. Because only then will Maastricht University's research be truly able to make a meaningful contribution in resolving some of the most pressing societal problems. Community at the core, knowledge crossing borders. The picture behind me illustrates both. It is precisely according to these two leitmotifs that the Brightlands campuses and Maastricht University strengthen each other in developing sustainable solutions to global challenges. And we can all benefit from that now and in the future. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Jan, for this really lively presentation and for giving us an overview of this exciting collaboration. We have one question for you as well, if I may, because you mentioned that the campuses, the Brightlands campuses, are linked to Maastricht University, but I'm sure there are other science parks all over the world that have similar ambitions. So what is unique about this collaboration?
You're absolutely right. There are many science parks, campuses all over the world, especially on healthcare and medicine. What makes us unique? There are a few things, I think. One is this is a truly triple helix approach, in which the three strands of the helix really invest a significant amount of money based on a shared vision. It's not a project or something. These are real organizations that we have established. The other is that we are building the total innovation chain, from fundamental research, applied research, to pilot plans, to production or application in the clinic. That is quite unique. Not many of the campuses have that all on their campus. It's more or less linking excellent research with excellent implementation. And I think the third one, we have 4 campuses. Each has their own specific field of knowledge. And by linking them, knowledge crossing borders, what I just mentioned, we can do things you can't do in another campus. We see several of these possibilities, like, for instance, regenerative medicine. You need the knowledge of the health campus, of the hospital, but you also need the knowledge that is at the Gemmelot campus on new materials. And those linkages and the other things make us unique, I guess.
Fantastic. Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Jan Kopenhagen. Last but not least, we're bringing to you Björn Buch, who is one of our highly decorated alumni. Björn completed a master's in international business studies at the UM and is now vice president at Bank of America Merrill Lynch in Zurich. We will see him just now on the streets of Zurich, where he recorded some insights into what it means to be a UM alumnus. Take it away, Björn.
Hello Maastricht and welcome to Maastricht. My name is Björn Buch and 15 years ago I was exactly where you are right now. Maastricht offers the support for an active alumni circle I have not seen from any other university to this extent. This has been confirmed by many people who have studied at universities in the UK, the Netherlands, Germany, and even in the US. I have 3 key topics I would like to talk to you about today. Lifelong learning. In today's ever-evolving world, the only constant variable is change. Throughout my 10-year experience in banking, I participate in various trainings every single year. Many of my friends have done their MBA or are in the process of doing an MBA or CFA right now. It's an important personal differentiator for your future and to stay ahead of the curve, to engage in studies even after you will obtain your bachelor or master degree in Maastricht. Mentoring. At my company, Bank of America Merrill Lynch, mentoring is strongly supported, and even the most senior leaders engage in mentoring relationships to grow themselves and learn from the experience of others. I have a mentor myself and rate this a very valuable source for development and personal progression. I understand University Maastricht is actually working on an exciting mentoring program for you at the moment, so stay tuned and look out for this great opportunity. Societal projects. This is something that is of critical importance to almost every global company these days, certainly important at Bank of America Merrill Lynch, but likewise at other companies I worked at before. So getting involved already at the university for societal or social projects may indeed give you the competitive edge or an interesting experience in a job interview, for example. I hope you have a great time in Maastricht. That's it from me. Bye from Zurich.
Great landscapes over there. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the presentations of the strategic program and moves us right along to the next segment. So, ladies and gentlemen, joining us on the stage now, our Vice President, Nick Bos.
Our new Rector Magnificus, Rihanna Lechert.
And our President, Martin Paul. Let's give them a warm welcome.
How's everybody doing?
Okay.
Comfortable?
Yeah.
Yes, it's getting.
It's getting there.
It is.
Yeah, how are we doing? It's
I'm fine.
everything okay?
Yes.
Are we doing okay?
The bench is big enough.
It's all right.
You have water here if you need it. We thought we're not gonna serve the wine yet because it's not 12 o'clock, so we're gonna
Is that a
hold
rule
down.
in Maastricht?
Well,
12?
I think we're good with water for now. So
You've
if
started
you're
something.
Good. Yeah.
Can we begin? Yeah. Our first question is, will Catalina and I still have jobs after this at the university?
Definitely. You can't do this every week.
Our supervisor might have an issue with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
So,
Sorry. Our first question, which has been selected very carefully, is to our new rector. The strategic program noted the importance of breaking down barriers and collaborating between different interdisciplinary fields. You've also recently said that there is a need for multi-level diversity, and I quote, the rebellious part of this university. Could you sort of elaborate to us what you meant by that and how you see all these different ideas working together?
Yes, thank you very much, Mark, for this quite interesting question, which has many dimensions in it. But let me start first with the rebellious part, because what I've noticed when I arrived here in Maastricht in March for the first time is this rebellious attitude. I think my appointment is part of that already. And if you have a rebellious attitude, it means that you have creativity, that you have power, that you have passion. I think the word passion has fallen here already for quite some time. It also means that you dare to kick against holy houses, to have some stone cold English here. I think there's a lot of discussion about stone cold English, especially with governors, so we have to be careful. And I think that the rebellious attitude also has quite an important impact on the way that we want to implement this strategic program. And with regard to diversity, that means that we will not wait another 10 years to have more women or more ethnic minorities appointed in leadership positions, because I think we in Maastricht can show that we want to move much faster there. It also means that if we talk about evaluating our staff members, that we should much more apply a diverse way of assessing staff instead of expecting everyone to excel in everything. So there I would see that our rebellious attitude can help us in pushing the discussion here, because we've been talking about this for quite some time already. And I can go on, but I have to look at the time.
I mean, the selection of the moderators, I think, was a pretty progressive choice, if I may say so myself.
Rebellious.
Yeah, really.
Yes.
It's all the students' fault. Thank you very much for that.
Our second question goes to Nick, and it's about valorization. As valorizing research by connecting it to the community, the UN believes scientific discoveries should be linked to societal challenges and societal needs. So could you perhaps give us some examples, some concrete examples, as to how UN research has been practically applied to benefit the community?
Yeah, there are of course several examples, but one example I like very much, and this also Ron Hirsch showed a slide on which it was mentioned, eat well, move well, be well. That's exactly what one of our projects, the Movare project, is about. This Movare is an organization of about 60 primary schools in the eastern part of this province. And this part of the province is, well, not very well known for its health situation. On the contrary, it is probably one of the regions in the Netherlands with the worst health situation. And we acknowledge that to change something in it, you have to change the attitude of the pupils. You have to start at a very early age. And that's the Movare project. So all our researchers in food, nutrition, but also in behavior, but also in marketing or in all kind of legal issues, they cooperate together with the people of the Movare schools and design a program for pupils in which they get trained in healthy eating, but also in exercise and sports. And we hope that in the end, these pupils will live up to the motto of eating well, exercising well, and in the end, feeling well.
Thank you very much.
Okay, for a third question. It's on topic of international communities. I think Alexandra mentioned earlier how we take pride in having a welcoming atmosphere here in Maastricht, but also at the same time, we have an expanding network of universities that we're part of that allows staff and students to go to different parts of the world. Could you perhaps sort of elaborate, Martin, on the dichotomy of that and how that actually strengthens our university?
Yeah, thanks very much, Mark. I think it's not a tegenstelling, as we say in Steenkool, Netherlands.
Oh, yeah, zeker.
It is something of a continuum. Because on the one hand, we have the international classroom here, where we have students from, I think, more than 100 different countries interacting also with each other based on their cultural experiences, their cultural background. But it also means that we offer our students and researchers many opportunities to go abroad. Now, researchers, they typically find their way with colleagues in many different countries. But for students, we really need to have these contracts, this network, is to offer them the possibility to go spend some time. Also, it means that we have to give them support, understanding different languages, different cultures, that we have an extensive language program that we're going to extend even more. That this learning from each other, that's moving to a European, a global community, is something that we want to live at all levels of this university. And our network partners are really, I shouldn't say partners in crime, but they're really important partners because they share the same vision. We have seen this with Brexit, where we immediately were contacting many of our partner universities to think with us what we can do to keep up the good cooperation.
Thank you very much. Yeah?
As for the last point, if we may, we would like to kindly ask you to offer to us some parting words of wisdom, each of you. Could we perhaps start here with Nick?
I don't know whether it's parting words of wisdom, but we had a very elaborated process of defining this strategic program, and I'm now looking forward to implementing it because that's, in the end, that's the most important part of it, of course.
Thank you very much. Rianne?
Well, I could say that we should all kiss more, but that would give me, I think, a very wrong image to start with. But I like the idea underlying it, that I think we should all try to see where our passion lies and together also make sure that this strategic program doesn't remain a paper document, but that we really live to it, and that we will all say that we are proud to work and study at Maastricht University, because I sure am, and this is just my second day at work. Thank you.
That's fantastic. And Martin?
Can I first have a question? Can we keep the couch?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It is yours.
Very nice. Very nice. It's very nice. Yeah, it's very nice.
We'll have somebody take it home.
Okay. No, upstairs.
Oh, yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, no, I think this strategic program really marks a bit of a transition. You know, we are always labeled ourselves as a young university, or one of the youngest universities in the Netherlands and beyond. And I think the key question is how we can keep this, maintain this youthful spirit. That's the challenge for all of us, and I think after experiencing this problem this morning, I'm actually less worried about it, because we have such an innovative potential. What we also need to do, I'm quite convinced about, is that we should give more leeway to our students and our staff to participate in making this university and keeping it young. I think this is a very nice challenge for us.
Those are some wise words indeed. Thank you for that.
Let's take another selfie.
So in good Twitter fashion, could we also ask you to take a selfie with us?
Well, only with the audience. Huh?
And with the audience, of course. So feel free to just, like or just
so happen to have a camera
typical touristical.
How do we? Oh, wait, we can have an official. Okay.
There we go. Okay. All right. So we're
gonna have to kneel a little bit.
There we go. Okay. The other way around.
You know, there's a photographer standing right here.
Yeah, no, but it's a selfie.
It has to be a groupie.
It has to be.
Okay.
Yeah, groupie.
Sorry. Okay. 1, 2.
Maastricht University.
Yay! Okay, I took a little bit. Sorry about that. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you once again to the members of the executive board. Thank you.
Should we go down, sit down, or stay?
We would be very happy if you stayed with us. So yes, of course.
Okay, good. And we don't have to carry the couch ourselves.
No, don't worry.
We'll do it.
We'll do it. It's good.
Okay, I think, if I'm not mistaken, we are at the end of this program.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, okay, no. And I think we had a very nice experience, that it was really interestingly different. And we'll see how the feedback is from the community. I think the applause has showed us, and the interest that we have probably a bright future for you as moderators and researchers at this university. But I would like, on behalf of my colleagues, thank really the people who made this happen. First, of course, we've always talked, the students organized this, so who are these mysterious students? And there were many involved in this, but three that I would like to call to the stage really to thank them personally. And that is Emily Allwood, Kostas Georgiadis, and Luca Brücken. I should say they really represented the diversity of our university. Emily comes from Den Haag. Kostas comes from the country which sends most students of us, Cyprus. And Luca is from Germany. And they really planned all this with an enthusiastic team, so thanks again. Then, of course, we also had some people writing, and later you get a view of our written strategic program. So it also would ask to come here Ellen Bastiaans, Alexandra Rosenbach, and Carola van der Weijden. Please come forward.
Got it.
Then Björn Buch, I think, is in Zurich. Or is he here? No, he was. He couldn't make it, but of course the representatives of the think tanks, Jan Kobbenharen, Ron Heren, Aurelia Streit, and Rolf van der Velden. Those of you who are still here and not at the bench or teaching, please come forward. So, and we only represent, of course, a small part of the community, and of course, there are two people that I really need to thank, and these are our fantastic moderators, Catalina Guanta and Mark Kawakami. Give them a big hand. I would say, I hope you get tenure, but if not, you always have a career on television.
Thank you, sir.
Anyway, to have a little memory for you as a parting gift of this day, we have prepared for you, and I ask my colleagues to help me with this. You get the commemorative medal of 40 years anniversary as a little remembrance of this beautiful day. Thanks very much. And I forgot to thank all the other speakers, Annemie Pente-Strake, and I think you'll also get a medal.
Thank you. We'll see how it ends.
I think we still need to exercise this with the university, right? This is it? One more? Okay. Anyway, so thanks again. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope to see you this afternoon where we give some other angles to this strategic program. And I say, if you can sure about one thing, is the passion and the spirit that lives here. And of course, today was a positive day. We also maybe have some things we worry about, but with passion we can overcome that. So let's do this together. Thanks for coming and hope to see you later.
Thank you very much.
Very nice.
We would also like to extend our gratitude to all of our esteemed speakers and the guests, and to everyone in the audience who tolerated Catalina and myself, and especially Sam.
It's been a pleasure. Bye-bye. Closing down.
This, ladies and gentlemen, concludes the morning session of the opening of the academic year. After listening to all of these amazing speakers, it seems that while our first 40 years were great, we are destined to even bigger things ahead.
You know, we really look forward to turning this ambitious strategic program into reality, like you said, and with a whole lot of passion and hard work, we really think it's possible. So with that in mind, I wish everyone here's to our next 40 years. Cheers.